Good Monday evening. Welcome to BCP Live. Hi, I'm Joey McWilliams. It's a bonus edition of BCP Live tonight here on a Monday night, and we will have a number of those over the course of this month as we are excited to get to visit with a lot of folks here. Primaries are coming up June 28th, which is not long away, just a little bit more than 2 weeks from now, so you need to be ready for that. Our bonus edition of BCP Live is presented tonight by Midwest Sportsnet, the YouTube channel. I have the opportunity to get to visit with Pam Gordon on BCP Live tonight as she is looking to serve the state of Oklahoma in the U.S. House of Representatives, and she's looking to fill a seat in Congressional District 2. First off, Pamela, thank you very much for taking some time with us here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I know you have a lot going on. You've just come out of one meeting into our time to get to visit tonight. So I've had a chance to get to meet you and learn a little bit more about you and visit just a little bit, but I know not everyone has. So let's just start right there. Tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Well, I actually grew up in District 2. I grew up in the Tishomingo-Coleman area. So my dad had a place there, a farm. It's crazy because when he was coming out of the military, they told him he was going to go blind. And so my dad, being an Oklahoman, of course, bought land because that was the investment. So he did eventually go blind, but he had some little girls, and I had 3 sisters, and we grew up on the farm there at Coleman. We did everything that little country girls were supposed to do. So that's how I grew up. My dad was set on the fender of my tractor when I would cut hay, and Mom and Dad instilled in us a good solid work ethic and a love for God. So that's a little bit about how I grew up. And then I actually am a retired school superintendent and was a superintendent at Caney, Oklahoma for a while. I was the youngest female superintendent in the state of Oklahoma. So that's part of my professional life, as well as I've been a military liaison to Washington, D.C. I've worked for the Marine Corps at Quantico, Virginia, and I've also been in law enforcement. So I've done an array of things. You
know, that's a transition that not too many people can talk about, from school superintendent in a small school in Oklahoma to working for Quantico.
Well, my husband spent 20 years in the Marine Corps. When he retired, they asked him to come back. So about the last 19 to 20 years, we have traveled throughout the United States, and he's trained Marines. So there was not always an education job available. So I've learned to do many different things. I was flexible like that. And really enjoyed it. And really, it's a blessing because I got to experience more than just education. But education was my true love. 32 years, and I retired out of it. So.
Well, I appreciate that. We support our teachers here on BCP Live. I want to ask you then, with that in mind, knowing a little bit more about you and your background then, this is a daunting task that is out there. So what made you choose to want to run and to serve in this position?
Oh, well, to be honest, it's kind of a story in itself. I have dealt with Washington, being a military liaison, and also working at Quantico because that's right outside the Beltway. So I've often sat at the table and worked with DC to ensure our military had what they needed. So I know how important those seats are. Actually, when Mark and I came back to Oklahoma to retire, it was only because the Biden administration had cut out some very vital programs for our Corps, for our military. And so we came back to Oklahoma, and we just turned off the TV and started living life and trying to forget the outside world. When you live in Oklahoma and you haven't lived anywhere else, you forget how blessed we are in this state. We are a conservative state. It's not out there. It's not like that everywhere out there. So we had just turned off the TV, and then this seat came open. And it was like, I turned on the TV, Mark threatened to divorce me, and that was it. No, really, I turned on the TV and said, what are you doing? And I said, I've got to figure out who's going to earn my vote. I know how important know how important those seats are. You know, because a seat in Congress isn't just for your state. They actually make decisions for our entire nation. And sometimes we forget that. So this seat was not just for our state, it's for our future of our country. So I went and vetted my candidates. I think that's what everyone should do, because candidates should earn your vote. So I went and vetted my candidates. I spoke to them. I looked at the records. If they had served in Oklahoma City, I looked to see what they had voted when they weren't there, when they didn't vote, when how they voted, what they abstained from voting for or against. So I vetted my candidates. That's the way we should all do that, because candidates are supposed to, like I said, earn their vote. And I didn't see anyone with the experience or the skill set that I have. And I truly feel like we don't have time to send someone to DC to get used to it. I feel like it's vital that we send someone who can hit the ground running and be ready to serve and know what it's about before they get up there. So that's why I decided to run.
I understand. We're here on BCP Live tonight visiting with Pamela Gordon, who is running for the Congressional District 2 seat in the House of Representatives. Our production tonight is presented by Midwest Sports Net. I wanted to ask you then, with that in mind and how you get to this point, what is your plan then? You talk about serving for, not just the state of Oklahoma, but also our country. But for Oklahoma, what kind of plans do you have there?
Well, I do know. I spoke the other night, and someone said, "Are you?" Before I could even finish, they had asked the question, "You're a former educator, aren't you? Because you told us what you plan to do before you ever started. You told us what you wanted your end result to be." And to me, that was a compliment, because it did show that I actually had a plan. But my plan is kind of twofold, because I'm looking at our nation and I'm looking at our state. I do know that what is good for America is good for Oklahoma. What's good for Oklahoma is good for America. So one of the things that I would like to do when I first get there, of course, is make alliances, because no one can go up there to reform Congress or to balance the budget or to get things accomplished. You can't just go up there and say, "This is what I'm going to do." You really have to know how to accomplish. You can't just go up there and say, "This is what I'm going to do." You really have to.
Well, I understand that.
Accomplish. You can't just go up there and say, "This is what I'm going to do." You really have to
lost you. I understand that.
accomplish. You can't just go up there and say, "This is what I'm going to do." You really have to accomplish. You can't just go up there and say, "This is what I'm going to do." You really have to accomplish. You can't just go up there and say, "This is what I'm going to do."
In the mix now. And this is more than just a general election, because there are 16 candidates who filed and to run in this position. That's because the general election in November. Of those 16 to run in this position are running on the Republican ticket, which means this primary is very, very important. And it is vital then for those who are wishing to find out who's going to represent them on the Republican side of the ticket to see these candidates. With 14 candidates out there, what do you do and how do you stand out? With 14 candidates out there, what do you do and how do you stand out? With 14 candidates out there, what do you do and how do your mic is muted? And I think I lost her. That's your mic is muted. Try to get it back here in just a moment to see if she has an opportunity to come back. Your mic is muted. The signal is there. Try to get it back here in just a moment to see if she has an opportunity to broadcast mic on a Monday night. And we may be able to have her back. Can you hear us now? Are you back with us Monday night? Cannot hear us. Okay. Can you hear us now? In fact, people watching, let's see. You can hear us? Cannot hear us. Okay. Can you hear us now? In fact, people watching, let's see. You can hear us? All right. Cannot hear. Okay. How about now? All right, we'll try it one more time. And I think something has gone wrong with the internet signal, so we will try it one more time, and I'll see if I can get word out there. By the way, again, live broadcast here on a Monday night. Penny, thank you for watching tonight, and we'll see.
Do you have me?
I have you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't want to lose what we have, and I appreciated everything you were saying there. So I just wanted to, even though I cannot see you, we can still hear you. And so let me ask you then from this, and we will definitely make sure that you get another opportunity to get to visit as well. But to wrap up the time, how do you stand out from among a group of 14 candidates on the Republican side and running for that primary spot that's coming up very quickly? What makes you stand out?
Actually, because I do have a plan. Of course, you know, we'd started on that, and so I'll try to briefly tell you to make alliances was the number one thing. The second thing is to when you get there and you make those alliances, the like-minded people, those people that are standing up for our Constitution, those people that are standing hard against the left. Even though they're being attacked, like the Josh Hawleys and the Lauren Bobarts and the Marjorie Taylor Greens, those people, you have to make those alliances, support them. And if you're not supporting them, then lead them. But we have to gather a strength in numbers. The second thing I would do would be to call Donald Trump, who will be massive in deciding who's going to come be our president next time. And I will say, what do I need to do to ready your battlefield? If you're not coming, who's coming? The third thing I would do, which makes me stand out from anyone else, is that I would develop task force throughout my 28 counties, 2 people per county in the areas of energy, in the areas of law enforcement, military, and border security, in the areas of jobs and agriculture. Those 2 people per county will meet together once a month. Those are the subject matter experts in our counties, the people with boots on the ground, the people who live every day. They will get together and they will decide what's good for their counties, what's bad for their county, what they could use, what they don't want, what they do want. I will meet with them every other month. That will hold me accountable, as well as knowing how I can advocate and help support them. So my difference is that I will be very active with my counties. I will be seen. I will be about. I will utilize the ideas of the people on the ground, because no one can go up there and be an expert in everything. And the best leaders make sure they surround themselves with the best people and ideas. So that's what sets me apart.
All right. And I think that answers the question too. And I'm sorry that there was a signal issue that kept people from hearing that. However, we have a good old fashioned interview by way of phone right now. So that works well. Well, I appreciate that. And I want to give you the opportunity also then as we wrap up this time here. June 28th is the primary for so many different opportunities to vote, different seats that are up for grabs, not only for this one, also state seats, county seats as well in Bryan County that are up there. June 28th is that big day, and that is 15 days from today. It's on a Tuesday, and that will be the day for primary elections in the state of Oklahoma. And Pamela Gordon, give your opportunity to make a statement and to invite the people to vote for you.
Absolutely. I do want you to keep in mind that I took no big money. Everything was grassroots. It's been donations from friends, families, and patriots who want to get the word out that Oklahoma second is important and our America is important. And so just keep that in mind. I like I said, didn't take any big money and owe no one except the constituents of Oklahoma, which I would be thrilled to represent in our nation's capital.
All right. That is Pamela Gordon. I know that you will see and hear more of her in the next 15 days. We appreciate you taking some time with us here on BCP Live tonight. Again, tonight's bonus coverage is presented by Midwest Sportsnet, the YouTube channel. So thank you very much for your time. God bless you. Thank you for the hybrid with the video interview and the audio interview tonight. And we look forward to seeing you more over the next 2 weeks.
Joey, I just want to tell people to please vet. please pray, because God needs to have his place in this, and then vote, and they'll vote for the right person. So God bless, and thank you for what you do.
All right. Thank you all for watching tonight. Our regularly scheduled Tuesday night is also on tap for tomorrow, and more bonus coverage here on BCP Live. Thanks again for watching. God bless you, and have a great